So let's go. We are back with another breakdown, right? Let's go, let's go, let's go. Starting off with US30, right? On a bigger time frame, such as H4, we have anticipated that after price broke this resistance here, price broke this resistance right here. We seen that we price made a new high point, and we anticipated for price to retrace and retest this same support zone, and now use it as this resistance zone to now use it as support, right? So we have that. Um, Let me see. Turn on the light here. Is this the light button? What's the light button? Okay, let's see. Okay, better lighting. Let's go. So yeah, so we see here price, we can go to a smaller time frame, such as H1, point A to point B. Retrace was 61.8%. Price did continue to hit our target, which is negative 27%, TP1, right? Let's mark off TP2. So that's TP2, right? So now we can get rid of this fib here, right? Because we already established that price made a new high point, and that is why I have this resistance here marked off, and we can slap on a new fib. Point A to point B. Price retraced to 50%, wicking 61.8%, also using this same previous resistance to now as support, right? Let's mark this off and make it a little zone. It is not a supply zone. It's just a resistance zone, but I'm just using it, just using this colorway, right? So yeah, so now price is currently after price made a higher low point, and we can mark this off here. After price made a higher low point, we can take this fib off. Let's see, let's mark off negative 27%, right? So we have this on a bigger time frame, and then we have this smaller one here for negative 27% on this time frame, right? So this is negative 61.8% from the previous fib, and this is negative 27% for the current fib, right? Which is TP1. So we could get rid of this fib, right? So now we could go into a small time frame to see if price is showing bullish momentum to continue to the upside, right? So we do have price here after the retrace. We can see here that price, let's go on a smaller time frame such as H5 so we get more data. So we see here we got more data. So we see here we had a lower high point. Price then reacted, making a lower low, but then breaking that lower high point to then support bullish momentum. And now it's consolidating at a higher high point, right? So what I'm anticipating this week is price to pull back into the zone, like we said, on this bigger time frame, to use previous resistance as now support, and price can either react there or price can pull back even steeper. Excuse me. Price can pull back even steeper because if we look to the left, let's get rid of one of these zones here. So, because if we look to the left, we have consolidation here. You know, this is an M5 little consolidation that can be used as a demand zone, right? So price can pull back steeper and still be valid for the uptrend, right? Where we will be looking for buys, right? At the moment, I have price anticipating. I am anticipating that price will pull back around here, and that's why I have this high low point, and then I will be looking for buys, right? Um, that is really it right now for US30. Just a waiting game, wait to see, and wait to see price pull back, start giving bullish momentum again, and then we can just ride the wave to the upside, right? And target negative 27%, negative 61.8% as TP1 and TP2. Let's move on to the NASDAQ. I had already pre-marked this up. So yes, so we had this previous we've had this previous H4 resistance that then broke, made a high low point, and then broke it again, then came back to retest it, right? And we did have a fib slapped on here. So we had point A to point B. Let's go to the H1 time frame because it was more visible there. Let's go to H1 time frame. Point A to point B. Price retraced to 78.6, 88.6%, right? And that was our rejection for the high and low point. And price did continue to push up. And it did now it's making its way towards TP1, right? So how I want to take advantage of this trade is I'm gonna get rid of this fib and I'm gonna go down to a small time frame such as M15, maybe even M5 to see more data where price broke this lower high point, made a higher high point, and it pulled back to this little consolidation zone, which can be used as a demand. And we did get rejection from that zone, right? So if we slap on a fib, point A to point B, price did reject 61.8%, and now it wants to make its way to negative 27%, right? Which is a high point on a bigger time frame, right? So I do have here, I do have price, and I do anticipate price to consolidate even some more. And New York session, it would break. I'm not saying it's gonna break, but I am anticipating it break because the market could do whatever it wants to do, right? So I do have it breaking here and targeting and going to the upside, and then I'll be looking for buys to support bullish momentum and just to support the higher time frame trend, right? The trend is your friend. So let's just not even make it too complicated. Let's just follow what's going on with the market, right? So that is my outlook for the NASDAQ, right? Moving on to gold. So we did have gold making a new high point after breaking this high low point here. You can slap on a fib. Okay, get rid of that. Let's do it over. Point A to point B, where this was point A, point B, right? This was the first fib. It targeted, it hit 23.6, which is just a continuation. I know it wicked 38.2%, but it did not body close on 38.2%, right? So now we're going to modify our fib to this resistance, right? And now we're at currently sitting at 61.8%, but I do have here a gap in the market. So I am anticipating that price wants to fill this gap. That is why I have this tool here, anticipating price to fill this gap. As long as price does not break this lower high point here, we are still on pace to support the bullish trend, right? So being that we have negative 27% already marked off, we can get rid of this fib. So we're anticipating and we're looking for body close below this gap. And then we're looking for a bullish candle on the H4 time frame to establish a support in the market. Then we can just wait it out and see if price going to shift structure on a smaller time frame to continue bullish, right? And that is what we are waiting for right now on gold. So it's pretty much, there's not really much to break down or wait for on gold. I mean, pretty much, there's nothing really to give you guys anything on gold. We just have to wait for more data. And that's what we're waiting for at the moment, right? Moving on to UJ, where we anticipated, we seen that price broke this previous resistance, right? After, and then it made a high point. We have price retracing lower low, well, yeah, lower low, lower high, testing the same low. And once I seen that, I got into some trades this week and I was able to take advantage of some of these trades. Um, yeah, so I seen price break this resistance here. Okay, where did my drawn stuff go? Yeah, I don't know where my favorites went. So we had a resistance here that broke, price retraced, right? Gave me a high low point. I then got into this trade. I took a position here. Price did go ahead and make a higher high point. I did not close the trade. It pulled all the way back to entry, but my stops was here. Where was my stop loss? Let's do this. So my stops was below this low point right here, this support right here. My stops was below this support, and price did not stop me out. So price, um, I don't know how I sat through it. I actually kind of set it and forget it. I'm not even gonna lie. Shout out to Alex, but I actually was not trying to pay attention to it because I didn't want my psychology to play with me. So I just held that trade. I held that position throughout this whole pullback, right? Um, After that, price did retrace, right? And then it did it. So let's see here. I then put my stops to break even, right? So price did pull back, right, on a small time frame on M30. It did break a high point, but once I seen that price make a low low, a lower high, and it did not break this low, I took another position along this pullback wick, right? Because I think this was more visible on the M5 time frame. Why is my chart looking like this? So zoomed in. What's going on? Uh, what's going on right now? Yeah, let's reset this. Okay, better. So yeah, price did retrace. It did not break, and then I seen a higher low point here form after we seen rejection on the M5 time frame to the downside, and then I got in on the trade, right? Where I set a buy limit that if price retrace anywhere down here, I got wicked into the trade, right? So price then pushed up to the upside, it retraced again, and I had my stops below. I had made my stops to the same break even point that I did here, that I had them with my previous position. And then I had a new entry here that I set to break this resistance, right? So I was 3 positions in. I will put a screenshot of the position that I was in on the screen somewhere. And that was the reason why I entered this trade, because I had bullish momentum in my favor, right? Where we can get rid of this. Let's get back to the M30 time frame. Price started to consolidate, and then I exited the trade, right? But price did go on to TP1, which is negative 27%, and price did hit TP1. So if you was able to take advantage of that trade, kudos to you. I took advantage of it, but I got some of it. But being that I was going through like broker issues and prop firm issues, I kind of just wanted to secure some profits and just add to my balance and make some money for the week. Um, the broker issues I went through was with Alpha Trader prop firm. I do not recommend that prop firm. They usually, well, I had a friend who got payouts from them. He also had an interview with Alex Santi, and it was cool. So, I was on that prop firm for a little while, and they just started to make a bunch of hidden rules. They started to implement a bunch of hidden rules just to make people feel, because I guess once you become profitable, prop firms don't really want you making money because they're losing money, right? So whatever debacle that they had, they breached my account for making too much money. That was crazy, right? It was a same UJ trade. It was previous. I think it was along this push somewhere, or it was somewhere. I cannot remember exactly where. I will have to go back and look. But I know I made too much money. So they say too much money. So they breached my account, right? So now I do have a new broker that I will put the link in the description. Along with that broker that I will put the link in the description, I am partnering with my friend Omar, Billionaire Herrera. You can check him out on Instagram, on YouTube. He is hosting live trading sessions, right? So I will put a link in the description for my link tree, which you can find on my socials, Instagram, TikTok, um, Snapchat, whatever case may be, and Valio. And Valio also is a Twitter for traders, where you can drop analysis. You can show when you enter a position, when you close a position, verified trades, right? So I will have all that link in the description. So yeah, you sign up with the broker, reach out to me via Instagram, Mr. Bush Trades on Instagram, and we will definitely get you into that live trading session where that is Monday through Friday, and we will, give you analysis, give you trades, and you can also make money with along with us on that broker. And everybody eats, right? So yeah, so this week I will be in the live trading session with them, and hope to see you there too. Right. So what we're anticipating now, right, being that price broke this high point, and made a new high point, we are looking on the H4 time frame, and we are looking to establish an actual valid resistance before we can anticipate the pullback into this zone right here, right? Which we can see on the H1 time frame. This is consolidation, so we can look to see if liquidity may be sitting below these liquidity may be sitting below here, which is a H4, which is a H1 consolidation. Now we can look to turn that into a demand zone. So we are anticipating this, right? Where this week we would, drop a midweek breakdown to see if the market is playing out how we anticipating, right? So let's slide this over here, and we will see if, yeah, like I said, so Wednesday we will see if we can establish and see if price and if the market is playing out in our favor, and we will see if we'll be able to take advantage of this trade, of this analysis coming up either the end of this week or even next week, right? So yeah, it's not really much to do with UJ at the moment, but just wait. Moving on to AU, we do have AU on a bearish trend on the higher time frame where we made lower low, lower high. Well, we are anticipating that this is a lower high point, being that we have a lot of confusion around this area. This was a weekly support that was broken. This was another weekly support that was broken. Price did come back up to retest, making a lower high point. So now we're looking for a steeper lower high point. We are looking for a bigger lower high point to be formed on a swing level, right? On a weekly, you can see it better. So yeah, so we have lower low, and we are anticipating that this is a lower high point, being that we have a little supply zone from a consolidation area that we had here on the weekly time frame. So if we go down to an H4 time frame, we do have a higher low point formed here. We have a higher high points formed here, right? We do have a little support here on the H1 time frame. I should make this only visible for H1. Right? So we can anticipate a break of a support on a bigger time frame, on a bigger scale. So we already have this push here, right? We are anticipating a break of support, breaking both supports to establish bearish momentum, and we can anticipate a pullback in this area here to use this previous support as resistance, right? On the H4 time frame, yes. So this is the H4 time frame support that we are anticipating to break. Or on a smaller scale, we can look for, we can see price push up, creating a lower high point to then break support and making a new lower high point to support bearish momentum, and we can start looking for entries, right? But at the moment for AU, it's a slow pair. We are just waiting, right? There's no rush. We just have to wait. Moving on to GU. So GU on the weekly time frame, we do have price testing this support level here on the weekly, right? Because we have bearish, doji, bullish, right? Then we have another bullish candle supporting, testing this support, right? Giving us bullish momentum, right? So then price did push up to this weekly resistance, and price has just been consolidating around this resistance, right? So if we go down to a small time frame, we do have a support here on the H4 time frame, but this is just really consolidation. So I wouldn't really say this is a support. Just like AU, we can just make it only on the visible, only on the H1 time frame, because I think it's a support on the H1 time frame, right? Yeah. So we have price breaking this high point, making a new high point, but then breaking this support, creating a lower high point and making new lower high points, right? in the market. So here I have on the M30 time frame, I see price is consolidating and I am waiting for a break of this support to support my bearish analysis. And I will be looking for sells with the stops above the high, right? That is what I'm anticipating right now for GU. Um, yeah, I think that's it. I'm anticipating that for GU because we have the MAs pointing down. We know that we was at a high point. After a high point comes a high low point, right? Where price moves in waves. So price moves high low, high low, high, and so on, right? Until we break a support right here, form a low high point, and then price. This is bearish trend, right? So this is what we are anticipating right now. After a high point, we know that markets wants to pull back. So we are at the high. So we are anticipating the pullback, right? For GU. But then we also have the higher time frames to account for. So we do know that we sitting at a weekly resistance. So we are seeing confusion, right? If price wanted to break this resistance, it would have broke it. It would have said bullish. See how we had this strong bullish momentum candle? It wouldn't have been dojis here. We would have had another bullish candle on the weekly time frame to support it breaking that resistance, but we did not get that. So we can be looking for sells because that's just what the market is looking like it wants to do. Of course, the market could do whatever it wants to do, but that's just what we are anticipating at the moment, right? So I will go back to, I think I was on the NASDAQ and I am on the M15, M5 time frame because we have a high low point here and we have another high low point and we just want to hop in and get in on that trend, right? So I will save my chart here. And that is it for the weekly breakdown. Like I said, we will be doing a Wednesday midweek breakdown or just analysis playing out just to see if the price is playing out and the market is playing out to support our analysis. And that is it, man. Thank you guys for rocking with me week in and week out. I will leave all the links in the description. And that is about it. Have a good one this week. Have a good week you guys, and hope you guys make some money. We are out.